taking too long to upload. I'm missing precious time. I had to go live. This was going on out in Cali today.
Good morning. I'm Joe McNally, the acting United States Attorney here in Los Angeles. Today, we're here to announce federal criminal charges against EUGENE HENLEY Jr., a career criminal known as Big U, who used his contacts and leadership role in the CRIPS criminal street gang, the entertainment industry, and a youth charity to further his own criminal enterprise, an enterprise that engaged in murder, extortion, robbery, human trafficking, COVID fraud, and other felonies. Mr. Henley and several other individuals linked to him and his criminal enterprise were charged in a criminal complaint with federal racketeering conspiracy. Mr. Henley is a fugitive, and he is currently wanted by federal law enforcement. Other individuals linked to his criminal enterprise were arrested today, approximately 10 defendants who are charged in various indictments. Again, Mr. Henley is a fugitive. 4 defendants are in state custody and will be transferred into federal custody, and we are still seeking Mr. Henley and another fugitive. The Department of Justice's top priority is eliminating violent crime caused by criminal street gangs and organized crime. These organizations cause a tremendous amount of harm in our communities.
Big U hit by the feds
Today's
today,
arrests
y'all.
are part of our office's efforts. FBI, IRS, LAPD, the team you see up here.
The video
to make our
uploading is
community
taking too
safer
long to
and rid our
upload. I had to
streets
go
of these
live.
criminal street gangs, including ones operated by violent felons like Mr. Henley, who are posing as savvy
ROLLIN
businessmen
60s OG
and community
Big U
leaders,
raided by the
but
feds
in
today.
the
I had
end
to
are
go
violent
live. My
criminals.
video take too long to
The affidavit
upload.
filed with the criminal complaint alleges
Too
that
long
Mr.
to
Henley
upload.
operated Big
Had
U
to go live.
Enterprises, a mafia-like organization that utilized Mr. Henley's stature and long-standing association with the CRIPS criminal street gang and other gangs here in Los Angeles to intimidate businesses and
I broke
individuals
this
in our
story first
communities.
on the East Coast.
I want to stress that the allegations here in the complaint are allegations only, and the defendants are presumed innocent until proven
broke the
otherwise.
story first
Let me
in the
talk a
New
little
York
bit about Mr.
YouTube
Henley
street.
and the street gang here. As I said, Mr. Henley is a widely known leader within the ROLLIN 60s. He rose to prominence in that gang decades ago, and he has since been a fixture on the internet, talk shows, and podcasts, all things that law enforcement have looked at closely as part of this investigation. He has maintained the image of an entertainment industry entrepreneur running a music label and of somebody who gives back to the community here in Los Angeles, funding a South LA-based charity, developing options, which purports to
that's Rock. Rakim, I didn't know that was you, man. I love you, man. I didn't even know that was my son. Love you, man.
The perils of gangs and high crime areas.
Y'all be hiding with these YouTube names. I don't know nobody's YouTube name.
Different picture. It is one of a murderer, a thief, a liar, and a cheat, and the criminals that enabled him.
You see this, Black Afghanistan?
Mr. Henley engaged in a murder of a musician signed to his label in 2021 and dumped the victim's body in Las Vegas off of the I-15 freeway. He then attempted to evade and obstruct the investigation into the murder, including ordering witnesses not to speak with law enforcement. Henley's criminal enterprise
broke this
also
story
engaged
on
in
the
other
East
crimes,
Coast, y'all.
including transporting prostitutes across state lines, extorting strip clubs, marijuana dispensaries, and other businesses, and fraudulently applying for COVID loans in the form of a business relief loan. On that application, Mr. Henley falsely stated that his music label, Unique Music, operated at a $200,000 profit in 2019 and was entitled to government assistance, despite the reality that the company had operated at a loss and was ineligible for such relief. Finally, Mr. Henley is accused of embezzling donations made by celebrities, professional athletes, and businesses to his charity, Developing Options, which, as I said, purports to give South LA at-risk youth alternatives to gang violence, drugs, and other criminal activity. Henley used this charity as a front.
Me, you, and Shaheed got to sit down and do our thing too, man. You see how they got the ball rolling.
And evade detection.
I'm coming up top with Ramadan over, man. We got to get together.
Conspiracy, He and his co-conspirators face approximately a 20-year federal
I
prison
got
sentence.
you, Rakim.
I want to thank our federal law enforcement partners, our state law enforcement partners who brought about the result here today. The Los Angeles Metropolitan Gang Task Force from the FBI is comprised of FBI agents, LAPD officers, IRS criminal investigation, the U.S. Department of Justice Inspector General's
Yeah, look
office,
like Big U is
Los
over
Angeles
Black
Police
Afghanistan.
Department, the North Las Vegas Police Department.
I don't wish it on
This
them.
case is a great
It's
example of
Ramadan.
state and
He's
federal law
Muslim. I don't wish the
enforcement
worst on a
working
Muslim in the
together,
month of
to address
Ramadan
harm
for
from a
sure.
criminal enterprise. I also want to thank our
But it is what it is.
Assistant U.S. Attorneys Kevin Butler and Jenna McCabe for their diligence and dogged determination in this case. With that, I'll turn it over to our next speaker, FBI Special Agent in
The
Charge,
little
Ted
boy and
Knox.
his family deserve justice too.
Thank you, Joe. Absolutely.
Oh, this ain't even just about Nip. This is about the
My
little
name is Ted
football
Knox,
player
Special
dude,
Agent
Black.
in charge of FBI Los Angeles' criminal division.
It's the football player dude, Black
These operations
Afghanistan,
are
that was
truly a
living in his
team effort,
house.
and I would like to recognize those partnerships. If not for their commitment, dedication, and follow-through, we would not be here today. First, I'd like to thank LAPD, IRS Criminal Investigations, and the U.S. Attorney's Office for working collaboratively for the past 4 years, in this case with FBI Los Angeles Metropolitan Task Force on violent gangs. I'd also like to thank the U.S. Marshal Service for their assistance today, and many departments in California, Arizona, Nevada,
Very sad,
and the
Olivia
North
Prater,
Las Vegas
very
Police
sad.
Department. Now, this morning, hundreds of agents and officers, including
Yes,
multiple
rest in
SWAT
peace
teams,
to them,
executed
only to go.
multiple arrest warrants for many of the 19 defendants charged in this case. Search warrants were executed at 6 locations. Those searches continue to be underway. 4 of the 19 defendants
Yeah, they say he
were already
allegedly
in
got
custody,
Gilly the Kid and his
and 10
son too.
defendants were taken into custody in the last 24 hours.
Said he made it real
While we're
nasty out there on the
still
West
seeking
Coast
the whereabouts of
for
5
brothers to move
individuals,
around.
3 of whom we believe we will
black
have in
man
custody
did
shortly.
that.
2 defendants
To the
are
black
considered
man.
fugitives. They are EUGENE HENLEY Jr., also known as Big U, and Brian Mejia. We will provide their photographs to the media following this announcement. Anyone with information as to their whereabouts should not take action on their own, but contact the FBI. You can reach us by calling 1-800-CALL-FBI. During this investigation,
Only
we recovered
targeted
49
black.
weapons, 5 pounds of methamphetamines, 10,000 fentanyl pills, and large amounts of cash. The ROLLIN 60s CRIPS have been around for decades, and by some estimates are among the largest gangs in the country, with factions in multiple states. Mr. Henley has been a known member of the ROLLIN 60s CRIPS since the 1980s, where he established his reputation and earned standing with fellow gang members. He has been able to use that standing to intimidate businesses and individuals and to commit various forms of violence, including the alleged murder outlined by the U.S. Attorney. He's also been able to influence others to give him money, only to defraud his victims.
You see everything.
including
You
defrauding
definitely
the
sees
U.S.,
everything, Black.
the government, the city of Los Angeles.
Slow-mo gusto, salute.
So that $7,300 grant I applied for
Oh, we about to skip
came
this
in the
commercial,
mail
y'all.
today.
We about to skip
I don't
this.
have
We
to
about
pay
to
it
get right
back.
back to this.
I would be less than the man I am if I really rubbed it in.
Was that the end of it? That might have been the end of it, y'all. But it's official. Big U has been raided by the feds. I just posted a story on it. I posted the story with a bit of a disclaimer because I was a little nervous because I only got it from Christopher 600 and Loose Cannon. If my story should be up by now, let me check and see. It was taking a while to upload. I said I had to go live. It's 7 minutes left. See, I still got 7 minutes left for my story to come up. I've been up on this, man. I've been up on this. Yeah, Hassan was smart. I've been up on this. He would have been talking about them boys. Yeah, I've been up on this, man. I was trying to drop the story on this for a little while, but it was taking too long to upload, so I had to go live and just bring it to y'all live. But that's what's going on, man. I saw it on Christopher 600 page, and I said, nah, this can't be valid. So I started researching, and the first place it took me was to TikTok. Loose Cannon had it on TikTok when he rode by the house. You'll see it on my video when it comes up. They got the yellow tape around the house. You know what I mean? So I'm like, oh, man. But I wasn't sure if it was Big U's house. You know, I wasn't sure if the information was valid due to the fact that, again, like I said, it's coming from Christopher 600. And you know, that's the whole WAC 100 crew, Loose Cannon. Loose Cannon, I don't even supposed to be part of the team. That's why I thought it could be valid. Because Loose Cannon was the first one that posted it, and he's not even supposed to be a part of the exposers no more. He left the crew. He's like type beefing with them. So I'm like, hold on, why is Loose Cannon posting this? Is this a play? Is this because you know that's all they all whacking them like to do is run plays, man. They don't have nothing valid going on. They got to entertain. That's Hollywood. They out in Cali. They out in LA, man. That's real movies. Those scripts they running out there, man. The boys out there running scripts and running plays. But I wasn't sure if it was a play or not when I seen Loose running, because I'm like, Loose don't move with them boys no more. But I was wrong. I was wrong. Loose did move with him. And we going back, though. We taking it back to that video, y'all. I'm taking it back for those who didn't see and those who want to see. We're gonna go back to the history. Matter of fact, they're still playing it. They're still playing it. The video's still going. We about to go back to the live news report.
Signed to his label in 2021.
This is what we talking about. Big U just raided by the
Las Vegas off of the I-15 freeway.
Let's
he then attempted to evade and obstruct the investigation into the murder, including ordering witnesses not to speak with law enforcement. Henley's criminal enterprise also engaged in other crimes, including transporting prostitutes across state lines, extorting strip clubs,
hey man, them dudes might really be law enforcement. I'm not saying I want to hang out with them, but if they speaking on the crime and I'm running content, why wouldn't I take them as a credible source? Hey, the police.
Music label, Unique Music, operated at a $200,000 profit in 2019 and was entitled to government assistance, despite the reality that the company had operated at a loss and was ineligible for such relief. Finally, Mr. Henley is accused of embezzling donations made by select.
What am I doing, man? Come on, man. That's me, y'all. Pardon me. Shoot the DJ. Shoot the DJ.
Professional athletes and businesses to his charity, Developing Options, which, as I said, purports to give South LA at-risk youth alternatives to gang violence, drugs, and other criminal activity. Henley used this charity as a front. He used it to conceal his fraudulent activities, his criminal enterprises activities, and evade detection from law enforcement. If convicted on the racketeering conspiracy, he and his co-conspirators face approximately a 20-year federal prison sentence. I want to thank our federal law enforcement partners, our state law enforcement partners,
who brought about the I got the footage.
Here today.
I got the actual footage of Big U house getting raided. I got the footage. My video uploading. It's taking too long to upload. I had to go live with y'all.
Criminal investigation, the U.S. Department of Justice Inspector General's Office, Los Angeles Police Department, the North Las Vegas Police Department. This case is a great example of state and federal law enforcement working together to address harm from a criminal enterprise. I also want to thank our prosecutors, Assistant U.S. Attorneys Kevin Butler and Jenna McCabe, for their diligence and dogged determination in this case. With that, I'll turn it over.
Hey, man, I didn't do that. That one wasn't me.
Over to our next speaker, FBI Special Agent in Charge, Ted Dox.
Y'all know I got these big-ass fingers with this little-ass phone. Bear with me now. I'm hitting buttons and shit. I'm excited.
My name is Ted Dox, Special Agent in Charge of FBI Los Angeles' Criminal Division.
I ain't excited the man going to jail. I'm excited I caught that news and brought it to y'all first. Gosh darn it. We ain't going to do that no more.
Those partnerships. If not for their commitment, dedication, and follow-through, we would not be here today. First, I'd like to thank LAPD, IRS Criminal Investigations, and the U.S. Attorney's Office for working collaboratively for the past 4 years. In this case, with FBI Los Angeles Metropolitan Task Force on violent gangs. I'd also like to thank the U.S. Marshal Service for their assistance today, and many departments in California, Arizona, Nevada, and the North Las Vegas Police Department. Now, this morning, hundreds of agents and officers, including multiple SWAT teams, executed multiple arrest warrants for many of the 19 defendants charged in this case. Search warrants were executed at 6 locations. Those searches continue to be underway.
How the audio sound? Can y'all hear this good?
Were already in custody, and 10 defendants were taken into custody in the last 24 hours. And while we're still seeking the whereabouts of 5 individuals, 3 of whom we believe we will have in custody shortly, 2 defendants
Yes, Miss Olivia Prater, this is real.
They are EUGENE, HENLEY Jr., also known as Big U, and Brian Mejia. We will provide their photographs to the media following this announcement. Anyone with information as to their whereabouts should not take action on their own, but contact the FBI. You can reach us by calling 1-800-CALL-FBI. During this investigation, we recovered 49 weapons, 5 pounds of methamphetamines, 10,000 fentanyl pills, and large amounts of cash. The ROLLIN 60s CRIPS have been around for decades, and by some estimates,
this is breaking
are among the
news,
largest
Eric. This
gangs
is all
in the
brand
country,
new. You're getting
with
it live
factions
here
in
with me.
multiple states. Mr. Henley has been a known member of the ROLLIN 60s CRIPS since the 1980s, where he established his reputation.
That's right, kiss the
and
baby,
standing with
OG
fellow
Bobby
gang
Johnson.
members. He has been able to use that standing to intimidate businesses and individuals and to commit various forms of violence, including the alleged murder outlined by the U.S. Attorney. He's also been able to influence others to give him money, only to defraud his victims, including defrauding the U.S., the government, the city of Los Angeles, and you, the taxpayer. Before I close, I'd like to ask that anyone who has information about the alleged criminal activity or feel that they have been victimized by any of the defendants, call the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI. We've targeted this gang in the past and will continue to target gangs who see violence and fear in our communities.
It look like they don't got Big U yet. I think he's on the run, y'all. As far as I know, I think Big U is running. They done raided the house, but I think he's running.
Today's arrests make neighborhoods across our city safer. Thank you. And with that, I'll turn it over to IRS SAC Tyler Hatcher.
Good morning. Again, I'm Tyler Hatcher. I'm the special agent in charge of IRS criminal investigation here in Los Angeles.
Yeah, exactly. They ain't even talk about the kid. They just talk about the gang.
They
don't care nothing about the little boy.
Law enforcement partners from LAPD, U.S. Attorney's Office,
Ray Sean Williams, that's his name. Say his name, y'all. Ray Sean Williams. That little boy got a mama. Ray Sean Williams.
To bring harm to our communities, as you've heard previously. The RICO charges against Mr. Henley and his associates reflect a pattern of crimes that runs a gambit from extortion to robbery to murder to tax fraud and to human trafficking, all under the umbrella of a well-organized criminal organization led by Mr. Henley. Additionally, Mr. Henley duped the County of Los Angeles by running a nonprofit named Developing Options, which was set up to pull youth out of the gang life and promote anti-gang solutions.
But the thing they've been saying, his homeboys telling.
To personally orchestrate
Wacky Christopher 600, they say Big U homeboys telling on him now.
Donors
they say
trust
his
that their
homeboys
donations will
telling.
be used in a manner that's consistent with what the charity was set up to do and applied as intended. In this case, it was for the benefit of at-risk youth. Financial transactions lead a trail, and IRS criminal investigation special agents are the best at following that trail. The trails led to Mr. Henley's, allegedly lead to Mr. Henley's personal bank account, and the money trail doesn't lie. Organized crime victimizes our Los Angeles communities far too frequently, but the arrests made today demonstrate our commitment to making Los Angeles safer for everyone impacted by these criminal enterprises. IRSCI is proud to partner with our federal and state and local law enforcement partners to make our communities safer and to protect from these violent acts. And on that, I'll turn it over to the Chief. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you all for being here today. I'll keep my comments brief. From day one, the Los Angeles Police Department's been proud to stand shoulder to shoulder with the FBI and our partners here today in this critical investigation. The invaluable expertise provided by Operation South Bureau FBI Task Force on the ROLLIN 60s criminal street gang has played a pivotal role in securing these 19 federal indictments laid out this morning. It's a measured step forward in our ongoing fight against gang violence and brings hope and relief to a community that for too long has endured far too much. Together we will continue to protect and serve, working tirelessly to ensure safety in all of our neighborhoods. I'll return the U.S. Attorney, Joe McNally, for any questions follow-up.
Thank you. We'll take any questions.
So Henley is still on the loose?
He is.
Do you expect to snag him today, or is this something where he's gone?
Yeah, I think all I can say is that look, he is the leader here, and we're looking for him and trying to find him. He's a fugitive at this point, and we're using resources to try to track him down.
You ain't lying, Black Afghanistan. You heard that though? They say he's the
The
leader.
arrests were made
They
this
on his
morning,
heels. They got him down as the leader.
Early this morning.
That's right. Finesse the analyzer. They called him the leader.
This whole group here that's in custody, or
So there were a number of arrests, I think roughly 10 this morning, and then there are other individuals who were in state custody that are being transferred into federal custody. Approximately 10 arrests were made this morning.
كيف حالك؟
I think you mentioned it earlier, but what kind of penalties or time you put in on these?
So a federal racketeering conspiracy complaint
that
charges
murder for hire charge.
that's charged here 1962
They
D
threw my
covers
brother
up to
Peter under
20
the
years
jail
in
for
federal
saying
prison.
he ordered a hit,
The
bro.
next stage here would be
That
that
ordering
Mr.
hits
Henley
is
and
dangerous.
others would be indicted by a grand jury, and the penalties at that point could range and include higher penalties. So at this point, he's charged in a criminal complaint.
Is he charged with murder too as well?
He's charged in a RICO conspiracy, and part of that RICO conspiracy, one of the predicate acts is the murder that is described in the complaint. He is not yet charged in an indictment with substantive murder.
You mentioned the taxpayers were defrauded. Can you tell us how much taxpayer dollars he obtained from what city leader or official? And what does this mean for groups that are working on anti-gang efforts and trying to get donations from celebrities?
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa
So I think
barakatuh.
just to kind of go back, Mr. Henley and the allegations are here, operated a criminal enterprise. He used his status in LA as a gang member, somebody who was known as an enforcer, in order to execute the crimes that are described in the criminal complaint. As part of that, and to get to your question, he also had this charity and held himself out there to be somebody who was committed to reducing gang violence, committed to supporting youth in the city. As part of that, he received grants from government agencies to do that work. And as we describe in the criminal complaint, he used that goodwill to benefit himself.
Yeah, Aki. Wait. Bear with me, y'all. There's the fingers again.
Diverted money from that charity and lined his own pockets with it, and that money was ultimately traced, and that we can show that he used it for personal purposes. So there was an embezzlement angle to this, to the criminal enterprise, where hundreds of thousands of dollars were siphoned off that should have gone to charitable purposes, gang reduction, gang intervention. Instead, he used it for his own purposes, his own criminal enterprise. In addition to that, there was tax loss. And like many of our cases, we ultimately do a financial investigation, and we see that embezzlement and that siphoning happens often. There's a parallel
let's give him the benefit of the doubt. He's Muslim. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt till they find him
So
guilty.
you're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars that the charity ultimately siphoned off for his purposes.
We not
it was a
there.
charity that he controlled, and again held himself out there to be somebody in our community who was, as Chief McDonald said, these communities are oftentimes our poorest communities that need intervention the most. They need law enforcement the most. He held himself out as somebody who was part of that team trying to improve South Los Angeles.
That's
and
right,
the facts in the indictment and the wiretap calls that we intercepted.
If it ever came out that they were setting Ak up, we'll feel like shit for talking about him like a dog. So we're going to say allegedly.
That contradiction. That on the one hand he's Mr. Charity, and on the other hand he's engaging in all this criminal conduct. That's set out in the criminal complaint.
Yo, my hand keep hitting the screen, this damn thing, y'all. I ain't meaning to do that.
It's outlined in the criminal complaint specifically what government agency gave him money.
It's outlined. It's outlined that he got grant money. I believe that money flowed through the city of Los Angeles. But I don't have the specifics in front of me. What I can tell you is that typically, grants flow through the state, and then eventually,
now, I never asked people to hit the like button, but come on, y'all know we're doing something right now.
Through the city.
And to the tune
Act
of
like
hundreds
it.
of thousands of dollars.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Did you say the name of the charity? Are you allowed to say that? Maybe?
Yeah, the charity I referenced earlier is Kevin. Developing options. Developing options.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Last question.
I apologize. Just your efforts to find Mr. Henley. Have you had a Do you have any idea about his potential whereabouts or any more that you can tell us on this?
No, other than he's a fugitive and he's being sought by law enforcement, and we're obviously looking for him as we would any fugitive who's engaged in the type of conduct that's alleged here.
This is a fact, Jamil Miller. This is a fact.
We believe that he may be in Southern California, and for that reason, we're providing his picture and encourage anybody to contact the FBI who knows his whereabouts.
All right, thank you very much. The press release is out. There's a copy of the complaint and affidavit that's attached to the email that it was sent out if you need it. You know where to reach me.
We do. Literally keep showing up.
Photos? You can go up and take photos if you want.
There's no digital copy.
I will take something with my phone.
I got
He's looking at some trouble, OG Bobby Johnson. He definitely is not in the position that I envy right now. I do not envy his position. As you all see, though, this is valid, man. This is not no gossip mill that Whack 100 and Christopher 600 run around with. This is a real case. Are they police? Did they bring the police to Big U, or did they just bring the awareness to the people? I don't know. I'm not out there. But this is valid. This is a real story. Y'all see it. Y'all seen the official press conference from the Los Angeles Police Department with the feds. They just had the official press conference. Big U is on the run. He is officially Nori, nigga on the run, eating. They looking for Big U. So all you podcasters out there talking greasy about Big U, y'all better be careful, because he on the run. And he know he might not ever get back out again if they catch him. So if he running the Whack 100, I wouldn't want to be Whack 100 right now. He might go ahead and do the damn thing on Whack 100 because allegedly, you right, Only the Ghost, allegedly, if they catch his ass, he going back to the penitentiary and he ain't never getting out. So Whack 100, if I was you, I would stay far, far, far away from anywhere that man might possibly go. Get out the gangs now. John McCartan, you are absolutely correct. I tell them all day I got that gas. G-A-S. Gangs ain't shit. I come up here all the time and tell people how gangs ruin my life and how they'll ruin your life too. If you want to be in a gang, use a goddamn fool. Look at what just happened to Big U. It ain't for me. It ain't for you. It ain't for him neither. It ain't for none of us. I understand we have a natural inclination to have that bond, that camaraderie, that brotherhood. We are tribal people. Any group that's not sanctioned or authorized by the government, they're going to call it a gang. You have to be aware of that. Whenever you want to gather with your people, just be mindful, man, that you're not doing any crime and nobody with you is doing any crime. Because they're going to throw that tag on your ass. They're going to call you a gang, whether you want or not. Just be a group of friends. They're going to call you, there you go. Gang means a group. Gang means a group, but what makes it a gang is the criminal aspect. They don't call fraternities gangs. It's the criminal aspect. They don't call them the Masonic Lodge gangs. It's the criminal aspect. It's all right for us to gather. We just can't do the crime, bro. We can't gather to sell dope. We can't gather to figure out how we're going to knock somebody off. Yeah, there you go. Be specific when you mean criminal gang. Keyword criminal. Absolutely. They call us Israelites the gang. I'm pretty sure they do, Black Afghanistan. I'm pretty sure they call the Israelites the gang. Shit, you want to be honest, it beats the hell out of being called terrorists. That's what they call us Muslims. But shit, we all in this together, man. Hey, yes, they do. A frat is a gang. Exactly. But it's not penalized. They're not penalized for being a frat. Yeah, maybe if they take somebody's life in a hazing process, then there'll be some type of penalization. But as long as nobody's dying, they can party and pop them little underage girls all they want to. Ain't nobody coming after no fraternities. They coming after gangs that sell dope and shoot people and whatnot. That's what they coming after. More than 3 people with the same thought is a gang by definition. Yeah. This is true. But this is what you got to keep in mind, right? I don't profess to be a gang member. I've elevated from being a gang member. I profess to be a gangster, and I'm standing on that. Why? As a Muslim, we have an obligation to not only acknowledge, but believe in Jesus. And Jesus was a gangster. His right-hand man, number 1 hitter, his name was Peter. Say hallelujah. Can I get a hallelujah out the church? I said Jesus' number 1 hitter name was Peter. Sound familiar, don't it? Yeah, I know. But as you can see, this Big U situation is valid. It's valid. He's on the run. Close your windows and lock your doors because Big U is on the run. Ain't no telling if he gonna want to get a hold of somebody's ass before them folks get a hold of him. So whack 100. Amar Green, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Whack 100. If you worried about Big U tearing your ass out the frame, you need somebody to protect you. Today's price is not yesterday's price, whack 100. Big U on the loose, and he probably looking for you because you the one put the laws on him. So if you want some protection, whack 100, yesterday's price is not today's price. I'm going to need me about $15,000, $20,000 an hour to keep Big U up off your ass, whack 100. Ain't too many people that's capable and got the nuts to stand up to go toe-to-toe with Big U. You got one right here. I am all the way retarded. It is not an act. I am all the way, fully, 100% completely retarded. I will handle that for you, but it's going to cost you about $15,000, $20,000 an hour for me to keep Big U off your ass. Because he on the run now. He dangerous. He like a rabid goddamn Wolverine, boy. I wouldn't want to be you, whack. Bilal, a.k.a. Blast. And you, all right, Bilal, that's what's up. Castle Hill in the building, 10473. That's the hood. You already know what it's here for. You from Castle Hill, you know who I am. You know what it is. That's right. Swoop reactions, even though Jesus got found guilty of the crime of blasphemy, so I guess he was a gangster. Maybe, even though Jesus got found guilty of the crime of blasphemy, he did get found guilty of the crime of blasphemy. I don't know about that. This is not about to turn into a religious debate if that's what you had intentions of. But like I said, I stand on it that he was a gangster. And if you want me to do a live on that, I will come back with plenty of evidence to support that theory. Jesus was a gangster. That's all that was, you know. That's why I have no quarrels with being identified as one. When people turn their nose up like it. That's right. There you go. Flipping tables and all type of stuff. Like I said, Peter, chopping niggas' ears off. All type of stuff. We're going to get into that at some other point in time. But today's subject is Big U. Big U is on the run, and he's a dangerous man right now. If you think Big U is guilty of the unaliving of this young boy Ray Sean Martin, this high school football star who lived in his house, drop a 1 in the comments section if you think Big U is guilty of this. If you think Whack 100 and Christopher 600 and Loose Cannon propagated this whole scheme to railroad Big U, go ahead and drop a deuce. Drop a deuce or drop the shit emoji. They the same thing. Big U is dangerous right now. I don't think he want to go do 20 years right now. He's already like 60. I think something wrong might happen. Absolutely right. Big U is very, very dangerous right now. Ahmad Green, brother Bilal, dropped the deuce. He think they framing Big U. He don't think this is all valid. Keep it 100. I wondered why I was a little homie living in this crib. I thought about that too. If you notice back when I dropped the first couple of videos on that, because you know Black Afghanistan, I broke the story over here in the first place. Jamil Miller, another brother, they don't think Big U's guilty. When I dropped this story over here in the first place, it might have been the first edition or the second volume I dropped to it, but I asked that question, what was going on with Shorty family? You know, there's some poverty situation or something going on, some single motherhood. She couldn't handle the young boy, perhaps. You know, Big U was very involved in the football scene out there, the youth football scene out there. So, you know, just thinking about it, stone to the bone. We getting a lot of deuces in here. A lot of brothers dropping them deuces, man. Go ahead, drop that deuce or that shit emoji if you think this some bullshit and Big U innocent and they just trying to frame him. Drop that one if you think he guilty. 600 and Whack 100 was right about what they said. This is true. They were right to the aspect that there was an investigation going on. He was involved in it. Apparently, they did find the DNA evidence under his fingernails, which was enough evidence for them to move forward with the arrest today. When they first came out saying they found the DNA evidence, they said, oh, the arrest is coming. The arrest is coming. Okay, Brother B Loud changed that to a 1. I see. They said the arrest is coming. And there you have it. It's not what is a week? Maybe not even a full week from when I dropped that first video on Big U. Maybe not even a full week before they spun the block on him. And Whack and Christopher 600 was correct. The arrest did come. The arrest did come. Well, not the arrest, the raid, I should say. Big U, they found Big U's DNA, John McCartan. Big U's DNA was found under the fingernails of deceased high school football star Rayshawn Martin. He was living under Big U's roof. He was already out of high school. If I'm not mistaken, he was into the music business too. Now, from what I heard on the streets out there in L.A., this hasn't been on no podcast besides my own. From what I heard on the streets out there, it was something in reference to a contract. Yeah, it was something in reference to, it sound eerily similar to the Nipsey situation. Like there was a contract presented to the young fella. I don't know if it had something to do with the music that the young fella was doing or his actual football career. But it was something to the effect of, they were saying Big U wanted the young boy to be signed to him, to sign some form of contract to him. And they said the young boy didn't want to sign. That's not coming from the Whack 106 Christopher 600 camp. That part is coming from my ears on the street out in Los Angeles. I still got an ear or two out on the street out there. And that, like I said, that came, they said that came, it had something to do with a contract not wanting to be signed. Said the young fella didn't want to. I didn't do time out in LA. I was in LA County Jail. When I caught my case finesse analyzer, I went on a run. Yes, I was at Victorville. No, I wasn't at the Victorville prison. Let me clarify. The airstrip at Victorville is where I left California from. I was in LA County Jail. I had a state case back on the East Coast. The U.S. Marshals extradited me back. So they came to LA County Jail to pick me up, and they took me to San Bernardino County Jail. Now, San Bernardino County Jail, half of the jail is county jail, and half was for federal inmates in transit. The county jail inmates wore the tans, and the federal inmates in transit wore orange. It was a hub. So I was in San Bernardino County Jail, and Freeway Rick Ross, the real Rick Ross, not the rapper from Miami who ruined Big Meech and Lil Meech's career. No, we talk about the real Rick Ross. He was in San Bernardino County Jail in the next cell from me when I came through there in 2002, and that's when I befriended him. A lot of that info, Rap 100 and 600 put it out. Yes, they did put a lot of that info out. But like I said, I didn't hear anything about the contract part from any of them. If they did put it out, I didn't catch that episode from either of them. I actually got that bit of information, like I said, from some of my people out there. Yeah, but and I didn't see the video with 600 or Whack 100 where any of them gave the motive as to why Big U would have unalived the young fella, or could have possibly, allegedly, however you want to say it, unalived the young fella. How long ago was the murder of the young fella? If I'm not mistaken, Boulevard Brown, I think the murder of the young fella may have been all the way back in 2021. I think some years have passed since the young fellow was unalived. I think it may have been 2021, if I'm not mistaken. So yes, this has been an ongoing investigation for some time. So it's like when everybody says that the WAC 100 and Christopher 600 was like breaking some brand new news to people, I'm standing back like, no. If this is an ongoing investigation, you know, the police already got what they got. They working. There you go. That info was already public from the family. WAC 100 and Christopher 600 was putting out public information for the most part. Yeah. WAC Hip Hop Police still, I definitely believe WAC is Hip Hop Police. When I go back, honestly, if y'all look back, y'all remember that interview with the Tekashi 6ix9ine boy? He was police. We know he was federaled up. Who was there? WAC, Hassan Campbell, and DJ Academics. I think that whole little crew tainted, bro. I think that whole tree, WAC, DJ Academics, and Hassan Campbell. I think all of them got some type of contract they signed. Yeah, that shit is a real thing though, Michael Jordan. C Black, no. It's not that nobody's obsessed with WAC. You got to realize WAC is the one who pushed this information out to the people, him and his crew. He got a crew of underlings. They call them the exposers. Christopher 600, Loose Cannon, you know about it. All right? They was the only ones promoting this information on the internet for the last few weeks. They was the only ones coming out the entire West Coast. Nobody else off the West Coast was pushing that information, C Black. So it's not like nobody's obsessed with WAC, brother. No, don't. There you go. WAC put the information out in Christopher 600. That's right. But even when Christopher 600 puts it out, I'm going to attribute that to WAC because that's who put him on. That's who he down with. He's Cash Money South, ain't he? Ain't Christopher 600 got a deal with Cash Money South? Ain't WAC got him a record deal? I believe WAC got the boy a record deal. That's WAC little mans in them. So when he pumps something like that, it's coming from WAC. Hey, the entire ROLLIN 60 gang have the same reputation. See, I wouldn't know about that swoop reactions. I'm not on the street out there. I haven't been on the street actively running around and committing crimes in Los Angeles since 2002. When I was out there on the run, when in Rome, do as the Romans. I was just as filthy as everybody else. I haven't been out there, to know what's actually going on with that. They just doing what they're allowed to do, is riding the wave pause because it's about the money, which is legally right if it's a public record. And I kind of agree with that, those swoop reaction. Once it's public information, it's out there. If you know how to hustle it and finesse it and say it in the slickest way possible, and you be the nigga get the YouTube view, then so be it. Because it's public information, it's going to be out there. If you get paid for presenting information on YouTube and you get a hold of some public information early in the game, I don't see no fault in you being the one to put it out there, man. Nah, this is a hustle. This is what content creation is. Content is information, man. It's a hustle. Everybody up here trying to be the first one to find out something so they can run up here and tell it and get the bread off of it. Because whoever the first one to run up here and tell it is going to be the one to get the bread off of it. Now, if you run up here telling something that ain't been told, yeah, you ratting. But if you running up here telling something that's already moving around the street, left and right, everybody on the street know it, it just ain't come to the net yet, you ain't no rat, brother. You not ratting. You getting in your bag. Yeah, they said Lou started beef with WAC behind this Big U story, but if you go to my channel, I think my video might be uploaded right now. I put a video up on my channel where you see the actual footage, of the raid from the house. You know what I'm saying? If you want to leave here and go check my channel and come back and check the footage from the raid from the house, you'll see that I put the video up there. But guess who dropped the video on TikTok? Loose Cannon. Loose Cannon, the one that dropped the video on TikTok in the first place. So yeah. Yeah, it's like, we don't know if Loose is really with WAC or not. Like I said, all them niggas do is run plays. Whoa. ROLLIN 60 Crips are called Snitch O's. They have a reputation of police cooperation. Their hood was ran by Big U, who was a known informant. Wow. Swoop reactions. That's some That's some like inside information you got, man. That's some fresh from the street shit out there, bro. I'm not privy to that. I can't stamp that. You feel what I'm saying? Because I can't say it's valid or not. I'm just repeating what I saw you or had on the screen. Swoop reactions, those aren't my words. I'm not out there to confirm or deny. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not out there to confirm or deny. You know, I'm doing the journalist part right now. I'm not trying to gang bang on one side or another. You know, I don't even actively gang bang no more, man. I'm in my 50s now. You know, I still could break a nigga down if they run up in my personal space. You know, I make sure I'm well capable of doing that, but I ain't with the gang banging no more, man. I don't want to diss the 60s. Even if that's the case with them, it ain't my position to diss them. I'm not a LA native. You feel what I'm saying? It would be cowardly of me to diss they hood, and I ain't got to walk around them streets. You know, it would be cowardly. I diss people up top because I go up top very often. I go up top frequently. And when I'm up there, I don't just drive through and take a picture. No, I get out and put my feet on the ground for a while. I post up on the block for a while. I kick it with my people for a while. Summertime, we might throw something on the grill or something. I'll be out there. I'm going to be out there when I'm out there, you know? Hey, OG Bobby Johnson, I don't know if you are familiar with my content, but I'm somebody who stands on that. The East Coast should have never took LA culture. Facts. I definitely I stand on that we should have never picked up that culture, man. I feel like, you know, from the position of where I'm from and my personal hood and my personal hood history, I believe that we got duped. I believe that my homeboy, you know, who made our hood a part of United Blood Nation, I believe that he was under the belief that, you know, that these guys were valid and what he was doing was valid and respected and accepted. And he didn't know that dudes were a bunch of liars and frauds and snitches and dope fiends and all that other stuff. Or I don't think he ever would have made that pact with them in the first place. I can go as far as saying I know he would have never made that pact to turn our hood blood had he known OG Mac was a rat and damn near everybody else was a dope fiend and they was lying about the whole situation in one main and all that other stuff. Another episode, whole nother episode all over again. Hey, there you go, Swoop Reactions. I can respect that. I can respect if that's your inside knowledge from your position, I respect it. See, Black, blood done been shed. We done been doing this since the mid-'80s in St. Louis. I see what MF saying about the genie been out the bottle. It ain't going back in. There you go. We should have stuck with posses and crews, facts, gangs ruined us. But it's like this, OG Bobby Johnson, right? You got to keep this in mind. We went back to gangs. It wasn't nothing new to us. See, we were the original gang bangers. But what a lot of people forget is we stopped gang banging, and when we stopped gang banging, we birthed something magnificent called hip-hop. Hip-hop was the result of New York honoring their peace treaty. That's all that was. The Ghetto Brothers and the Black Spades were the Crips and the Bloods of New York City. Had that war continued to go on, it would have been as historical and even have been going on probably longer maybe, or just as long. I'm not going to say longer, you know, who wants to get into the competition thing, but just as long as Crips and Bloods had been going on. If it wasn't for Hassan Campbell's homosexual lover, African Bambaataa. You know, African Bambaataa played a big role in squashing that beef. See, your mother was a tomahawk, my mother was a black spade. So African Bambaataa played a big role in squashing that beef between the Black Spades and the Ghetto Brothers. That was the Bloods and Crips War of New York going on at that time. You feel what I'm saying? And when that war was squashed, when that beef was squashed, the parties that came, you know, the bonding that came out of that was what we now call hip-hop. Yeah, we birthed a culture. We walked away from gang banging and walked directly into something, not even knowing what we were doing fully at the time, because so many of the forefather and pioneers of hip-hop were youth. They were young boys, adolescents, youth. I'm not talking about the 90s, no, the young boys. Yeah, niggas was following the young boys. Albert Alpo Martino said, Bam smashed Crazy Legs too. I would not doubt it. I would not doubt it. I would not doubt it. Yeah, but that's just for the record, man. You know, for my West Coast brothers and those, like, you know, it ain't like when New York started Crippin' and Blood, and that was New York's first rodeo with the gangbang thing. Malik Nunez, salute. Yeah, that wasn't they first rodeo with the gangbanging thing when New York started Blood and Crippin'. We was Blood and Crippin' before that in the 70s, just called the Ghetto Brothers and Black Spades. And niggas was really banging on niggas, hitting niggas up. Where you from? Whipping niggas out. You also from the UBN, being UBN over 20 years. They're mainly factions of the nation. The issue with New York UBN, their main sets were gangster bloods. Hey, I could understand that. Hey, truth of the matter is, those swoop reactions, I'm going to keep it all the way 100 with you. I ain't even concerned with that like as I was, like, you know what I'm saying, 25, 30 years ago. That was, yeah, I eat, breathe, and sleep that. You know what I'm saying? Everything was blood. I was interested in that information. Right now, I don't even care about no gang information. I don't care about no gang history. I'm making history right now. I'm about to make history. There you go, OG Bobby Johnson. Yeah, I'm about to make history right now because I actually have an agenda. And the type of stuff that I'm talking about up here, the content that I'm putting out, is not what I came up here to put out, and it's not what I came up here to talk about. I'm just doing what I got to do to build my platform. I'm playing the game. That's all. I'm just playing the game right now. Okay, that's where I'm most popular at. As the gang member, the OG Hollywood guy, we're going to use that popularity to build this platform. And when we get enough people in the room, we're going to start talking about what I want to talk about. But it's still not enough people in the room yet. I want to talk about some things of epic proportion. Yeah, I got to wait till I really, like, you know, build my platform. I need a good 20,000 people. I need at least a good 20,000 subs, averaging 20, 25,000 views of video. And then I'm going to completely start talking about some different things. And I just hope you're all lucky enough to stick around and, you know, hear me when I do. But yeah, man, we brought it to you first again. We broke the Big U story on the East Coast the first time a week or two ago when we told y'all that Mad Max, shout out, when we told y'all that Big U's DNA was discovered under the fingernails of a deceased young high school football star from out in Los Angeles by the name of Rayshawn Williams. The young brother Rayshawn Williams used to live in Big U's home. You know, we don't know exactly why he lived with Big U, what his family circumstances were, but we could only imagine or assume for the most part that, you know, with Big U being involved with the football programs and football scene as he was, that the mother of the young fella might have trusted Big U to be the male leader and you know, the male guidance in the young fella's life, you know, the male role model for him. I want you to stay with the football coach so, you know, he could teach you some discipline on how to be a young man. That could have been the case, perhaps. You know, if young Rayshawn Williams was a young man growing up with a single mother, you know. Oh, that's a fact. As blood, all New York should do is return to the source when blood saved all them blacks in prison while being born out of oppression. See, this is what I was talking about, the swoop reactions. I got a problem with that. And this is why I say dudes lied. The oppression story, it was some of that going on, but it wasn't what you thought it was. Yeah, when that situation popped off in one Maine, that first bloody war that, you know, the Bloods was built upon, that was supposed to have been over racial oppression, no, it wasn't. It was over one of them niggas that owed them Puerto Rican boys with some heroin. Them niggas was some dope fiends, man. You know, he was career dope fiends, some of them boys, man, who started that UBN thing in the Bronx. It is what it is. It was habitual, repeat offenders and dope fiends, man. And they wasn't known, like, on the street like that. They was known in jail. They was always in jail, niggas. I mean, it is what it is. Okay, so the boy was Big U's son best friend. He was Big U's son best friend. That was the connection. I get it. Oh, facts, even dope fiends need protection. This is true, swoop reactions. This is true. I'm just talking about the falsehoods in the history. When you hear the history of how that thing started, it's some falsehoods in there. That's all I'm referring to. That's all I'm referring to. But like I said, those are one of the things that turned me off from the whole gang banging thing, man. I don't like houses that are built on weak foundations. I know they won't stand the rain. They always make it was all at war is cap. They always make it like it was all at war is cap. I don't get that, OG Bobby Johnson. I'm trying to figure that out. Maybe I didn't read that right. But yes, that's my take on that, y'all. But once again, y'all heard it here first. OG TV, Big U's on the run. Close your windows, lock your doors. Whack 100. You need protection, hit me up. But I'm telling you, I'm taxing. Yesterday's price is not today's price. He foaming at the mouth right now. He wants to rip your head completely off your shoulders, Whack 100. If you want me to protect you from Big U, I am capable. I'm not saying I'm going to whoop his ass, but I'm going to tell you he ain't finna whoop my ass, though. I will sit there and, there you go, Jamo. The flag tore us apart. That's a fact. Any SMM original knows that. That's my brother Jihad Mo. Big bro, that's me and Peter's big bro right there. And he said what he said. He said what he had just now said. And that's me and Peter's big brother. That's right. The flag tore us apart. We was doing well with what we were doing. We believe that what we established is formidable enough to stand up against anything in a nation and needs no cosign from no other organization. Our organization was strong enough on its own, is what we believe. And that's no slight or disrespect to any other organization. Salute to every organization. But the organizations that we founded and started, it was sufficient. It would have been sufficient. We believe that. That kid been unalive, right? Yes, Wet Yak Williams. The kid has been unalive since, like I said, I believe 2021. He's been unalive since 2021. And now Big U is on the run. Big U's on the run. So be careful out there. If you've been on these YouTube streets talking crazy, I'm talking about SMM swoop reactions. I'm talking about SMM. You know I ain't have nothing to do with no fountain and no blood. I ain't even old enough for that. Come on, I don't even look old enough. I better not look old enough to be having something to do with starting blood. I better not look old enough. No, I don't look that old. I was born in the 70s. Word. But Big U is on the run. If you're not guilty, Big U, if you're not guilty, I pray Allah protect you, man. And you make it. You make it to where you got to go safe, man. That's all. But if you did do that, that little boy who passed away, he belonged to Allah too. So it just might be his call to get his justice, Hey, Swoop Reactions, no, I don't speak on behalf of the entire organization. I don't have the authority to speak on the behalf of anyone but myself. I speak on the behalf of myself, of Swoop Reactions. Let me clarify that, all right? I don't want you to say that is a group idea. That is a group idea that's being practiced. That's something Hollywood said out Hollywood mouth. That's how Hollywood feel. That's all. I mean, they basically have him on that Rico chopper. It's about whether or not they catch him. He on a float. He got wings on his back right now. They got to catch that boy. He running. He running right now. He ain't trying to stand still. He know they done been at the house. Like I said, go to my channel, man, and check out that video, man. You can see the actual house being raided. And again, Swoop Reactions. it's not even so much about rejecting it, right? It's about acknowledging and understanding that it came to us under false pretenses. It came to us under false pretenses. And what we was already dealing with was the baddest thing in the city. It was going to be bad and it was going to be big regardless. Regardless of whether we picked them rags up or not. What we was doing was already epic. When that thing started in New York, we were more popular than them. WAC 100 going to give the feds all the info they need. He done already gave it. He done already gave it. He ain't got to give it no more. From what they saying, Big U homeboy is telling. They said enough of Big U homeboy is telling to where whacking them don't have to say anything else. They said Big U's homeboys is snitching. They say they are snitching. The work about to come out soon, but they say Big U's homeboys are snitching. So it's not just WAC 100 and Christopher 600, because y'all got to realize WAC and Christopher was not there at the time of the unaliving. Keep that in mind. In order for them to be the actual rats, they had to been there when it went down. Yak, I hear what you're saying. He dropped it first on YouTube. But what they're saying is this has been public information in the streets. If it's running around the streets, who cares if they dropped it first on YouTube? What, everybody in the streets of LA could know, but the next town over can't know once it come on you? No, once it's public information, it's public information. Chopper said 4 ROLLIN 60s are talking. We just saw the news thing a little while ago, and I might run it back for y'all in a few. Yeah, but this is nasty work. This is real big. This is big. Oh, you talk about his whereabouts? Who's that, Malik Nunes? Swoop Reactions standing. Hey, Iris, salute Swoop Reactions. Salute, my brother. You speaking your truth. Hey, I'm not knocking you or nor am I trying to silence your truth. Swoop Reaction says all the 60s are talking. That's hilarious. I don't have the authority to say that. I'm not out there. I don't know the 60s personally. Swoop Reactions, where you from, man? Let us know what hood you from, man. Because you putting a big stamp on a big neighborhood out there. Huh? We stand on stuff around here, man. We stand on it when we say it. Where you from, Swoop Reaction? Where your hood at? Because I was in the jungles when I was in Cali. I was running around the jungles. Where you from, Swoop Reactions? Rat got a line on everything. And Big Eye Whereabout. Yeah. You from SS, what's that? Southside 30s? What's SS 30s? I don't know SS. He's from SS 30s. I didn't know that hood when I was out there. The only 30s hood I knew when I was out there was Harlem's. And you know they weren't allies with the jungle. They were kind of like, enemies with the Jays at the time. The Jays was beefing with the Harlem 30s, the West Boulevard Crips, the Gear Gang Crips, the 18th Streets. In my era out there. That's it, Southside 30s. Okay. Shout out to Southside 30s. My man Swoop Reactions. He been having a lot to say about these 60s up in here right now. Hey, the way they telling on Big U, I can't confirm or deny. Alyssa got the Muslim hat on. Of course, why not when you Muslim? I prayed today, have you? Well, I didn't pray Zohar yet. I've been online for an hour now. So pretty much, for the time Zohar came in, I've been working on this story. Oh, your BM is from 60s. Got it. But yeah, as soon as I get off this live, I'm going to praise her. Absolutely, Alyssa. Absolutely. He got 18 boogers. Wow. Big U was their big homie in Minnesota when he lived in, yes, he did live in St. Paul, Minnesota. That's where, wasn't, rest in peace to Space Ghost. Wasn't Space Ghost out there with him when he was in Minnesota? I think that's where Big U and Space Ghost was supposed to squabble at out there in Minnesota. Am I correct? Swoop reactions, anybody can tell me? Because I did hear about something about him being out in Minnesota. Okay, so him and Space Ghost did squabble out in Minnesota. Got you, Chopper. Okay, got you. See, I'm in tune, man. I'm in tune. I'll be listening. All right, Malik Nunez, take care, brother. Drive safe, man. Drive safe. Keep your eyes on the road. Okay, Swoop reactions. So you know a lot of the 90s. How about them East Coasters, man? How them East Coasters let Spider-Loc go out bad like that? Spider-Loc went out real bad. He went out real bad. I got a video of, I got in one of the videos, I got a picture of where he in missionary position. Okay. You're the dominant gang in the state. Got you. Yeah, though, man. Hey, we going to tap back in a little later like I just finished saying, though. It is time for me to pray. I got to make Zur. It's Ramadan. I'm fasting. I'm trying to be on top of my prayers right now. Well, I'm trying to be on top of my prayers. That's not a Ramadan thing with me. But it's just mandatory that I'm definitely on top of them at this time, man. All right, but I appreciate y'all for hanging out with me. And if I get any more information on that case, I'll be sure to bring it back to y'all ASAP. All right, one. All right, Swoop. Take care. I'm out.